Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including Tesla's Q3 results, Tesla entering South America, new software features, the official Cybertruck delivery event announcement, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, Tesla appears to be preparing to sell their vehicles in South America, according to a new job posting in Chile. Having expanded throughout North America, Europe, and Asia, they're now looking to dip into a new market. The job posting on LinkedIn is for a country manager to help introduce the brand. The description says, quote, Tesla Motors seeks a country general manager, Chile, to help launch the market. You'll be the ambassador of our brand in the market and will play a pivotal role in shaping our corporate image while accelerating the transition to sustainable energy. In the past, this has been the first role Tesla hires for when expanding into a new market. It's based in Santiago, the capital of Chile, and they're also looking for Tesla advisors and service technicians there. Chile's auto market isn't very large, representing only about 234,000 cars sold so far this year, so this is an interesting choice for Tesla. For comparison, that's about how many vehicles are sold in Brazil every month. What the Chilean market does promise, though, is a strong interest in electric vehicles. The country is reportedly rich in lithium, which would be great for Tesla if they decided to open a refinery there. On top of that, there's an initiative there for all new vehicles sold after 2035 to be electric, similar to policies in the US. Tesla is also racing against their main competitor from China, BYD. BYD is already offering cheaper models in Chile, so now is the time for Tesla to offer a higher-end vehicle there. Tesla might actually be able to compete around the same price point though. The most affordable vehicle BYD currently offers there is selling for 27.99 million Chilean pesos, which equates to just under 30,000 US dollars. In the US, the rear-wheel drive Model 3 is currently selling for $38,990. That's not too far off, and these prices may continue to fall. Then once Tesla starts manufacturing their $25,000 EV out of Giga Texas or Nuevo Leon, they may be able to undercut BYD by a large sum. Giga Mexico has been experiencing a lot of delays though, so that may not happen from that factory in the next couple years. Either way, I think Tesla could be successful in this market, and it could be a good test for other countries in South America. Next up today, Tesla just had their Q3 earnings call and finally announced the Cybertruck delivery event. On the Q3 sheet itself, they detail a lot for their profitability, revenue, capacity, and future goals. Under profitability, they report a 7.6% operating margin in Q3, $1.8 billion GAAP operating income in Q3, $1.9 billion GAAP net income in Q3, and $2.3 billion non-GAAP net income in Q3. For cash, they had an operating cash flow of $3.3 billion in Q3, and then for operations, they highlight 4 gigawatt hours of energy storage deployed in Q3, and the fact that they more than doubled AI training compute. Under summary, they say, quote, our cost of goods sold per vehicle decreased to $37,500 in Q3. While production costs at our new factories remained higher than our established factories, we have implemented necessary upgrades in Q3 to enable further unit cost reductions. We continue to believe that an industry leader needs to be a cost leader. As for that AI doubling they mentioned, they say, quote, we have more than doubled the size of our AI training compute to accommodate for our growing data set, as well as our Optimus robot project. Our humanoid robot is currently being trained for simple tasks through AI, rather than hard-coded software, and its hardware is being further upgraded. As for capacity in their factories, they show 100,000 for the Model S and X and 500,000 for the Model 3 and Y in California at their original Fremont factory. Shanghai is the most impressive with a capacity of 950,000 for the Model 3 and Y. Berlin currently has a capacity of 375,000 Model Ys, and then Texas has capacity for around 250,000 Model Ys and 125,000 Cybertrucks, which they list for pilot production. Of course, that's not the number today, but they're showing that that's where they're getting on their ramp for the Cybertruck. Then they list the Semi, their next-gen platform, and the Roadster. But let's talk about the Cybertruck. Tesla finally announced their delivery event, and it's taking place on November 30th at Giga Texas. So they did miss the Q2 deadline, but they are on track to deliver it towards the end of this year. They confirmed the date with a poster on the official Cybertruck Twitter and also noted it within the report itself. First deliveries will be happening that day, and they also confirmed the Cybertruck 800-volt architecture. One cool photo in this report is the Tesla Semi hauling 3 Cybertrucks when they're confirming that delivery event. For US operations, Tesla said, at Giga Texas, we began pilot production of the Cybertruck, which remains on track for initial deliveries this year. We are expecting the Model Y production rate in Texas to grow very gradually from its current level as we ramp additional supply chain needs in a cost-efficient manner. Production of our high-density 4680 cell is progressing as planned, and we continue building capacity for cathode production and lithium refining in the US. One very impressive milestone comes when they talk about AI and autopilot. The FSD beta has been accelerating in miles driven with now over 500 million miles. Then they talk about the Model Y and its pricing, since that is their most popular car. They have a great table that shows that it starts with incentives at $36,490 across the board in the US, and it can get quite a bit lower in certain states with different incentives. It's great to finally have an official date for the Cybertruck's release. It will be getting delivered on November 30th. We'll have to see what that event will entail and how many they'll deliver at that time. But Elon had a lot to say about the Cybertruck and cost in general for Tesla's vehicles. For the Cybertruck, he made sure to emphasize that this will be an enormous challenge with scaling. It will also be an enormous challenge to make it cash flow positive, which he said is normal for any product with new tech, of which the Cybertruck has a lot of. He emphasized that it's their best product ever, but will require immense work to be cash flow positive, scaled, and at a price that people can afford. Again, as he always says, he repeated that prototypes are easy and production is hard. For production of the Cybertruck, he expects it to take 12 to 18 months before they're cash flow positive. And even though demand is off the charts, they expect that they'll end up at 250,000 Cybertrucks per year sometime in 2025. They don't expect to reach that before then, which is why they gave a $125,000 estimate on their chart. That's his best guess as well, and Elon time tends to be a little bit delayed. Regarding demand for the Cybertruck though, this is the first time Tesla themselves and Elon have confirmed how many Cybertruck reservations they are, and he said they have over 1 million reservations. We've known numbers like this in the past, but it's from reservation trackers, and now we got it from Tesla officially. One interesting thing came when they talked about their future next-gen vehicle platform, and talked about how it's not actually as complex as the Cybertruck is to build, because the Cybertruck has 14 inches of travel on the suspension. That's incredibly impressive and a pretty big deal for that truck when it comes. For 4680 production at Giga Texas, they increased 40% quarter over quarter, and they're planning for phase 2 of 4680 cells at that facility. Production there will come in late 2024, and then Cato Road, their initial 4680 pilot plant in California, is retooling. Long term, they plan for that to be always one generation ahead of their other factories. It will be working on their next-gen battery tech, working out the kinks, and being a pilot plant, and then they'll implement it at scale at their factories. For Mexico, they said they are laying the groundwork to begin construction, but they want to get a sense of the global economy before going full tilt on that project. Elon in particular is worried about high interest rates in this environment right now, and he talked about that quite a bit later on. For the $25,000 car though, Elon detailed, "We dug our own grave with Cybertruck. It's one of those special products that comes along only once in a long while. High volume, low cost, smaller next-gen vehicle is actually much more conventional. The manufacturing approach is revolutionary, and I think it'll be quite a fast ramp." Interestingly, when asked about radar, he did confirm that Tesla is testing their own high-res radar. It's built in-house, and it's an experiment on the Model S and X in production right now. He said it has some potential to be useful, but the jury is still out, and they're not planning to put radar on their cars anytime soon at scale. Then the end of the call was pretty much about economic times and interest rates. Elon in particular talked about how if a RAV4 was priced at the same as a Model Y, everyone would buy a Model Y for the most part. So cost is the main problem at all times here. While Tesla has decreased the price of the Model Y, from the customer perspective, it's the same price because a monthly payment is basically the same because of raising interest rates. This is a big reason why Tesla's main focus is always driving down cost, and Elon really sees this as the most important fundamental thing. Nothing really seems to be more important than this. Overall, it was a pretty normal call and pretty interesting, but it was great to get some new info about the Cybertruck and to get the official Cybertruck delivery event date on November 30th. Next up today, the latest Cybertruck sightings. Last week, we reported several Cybertrucks were spotted after testing on a road trip across Baja. Afterwards, a lot of photos were shared of these trucks, giving us a closer look than we've seen before, and we're still noticing details. On the back wall of this compartment, it was noted that the Cybertruck logo is stamped into the plastic. This is something we've never seen on a Tesla before, and is one more detail that sets this truck apart from their other vehicles. The Cybertruck branding is truly all over this vehicle's design, even though it's not specifically on the exterior. Sawyer Merritt brought our attention to the external light bar at the top of the windshield, which is receiving mixed reviews from fans. Earlier prototypes appeared to have a light bar embedded into the windshield, but this looks like an accessory that can be added later. Rather than coming from within the glass or right behind it, it sits on top, interrupting the smooth line between the windshield and glass roof. Some have pointed out that this will increase drag a little bit, and it's another part that'll get muddy if you plan to off-road in this truck, but at least a light bar seems to still be an option. You also may be able to pop it off whenever you're not using it. I'm wondering when we'll see Tesla actually start offering these accessories though. I don't expect them to become available from Tesla until well after the truck is released, and then owners will have to act fast before they sell out. Pretty much everything cyber themed in their shop right now is sold out, but most products are sillier than actual accessories for actual trucks. Hopefully, when they start making functional accessories, they'll be more widely available. Next, it's been revealed exactly how wide this truck is ahead of its official announcement. The last we heard from Tesla was that it would be under 19 feet or 228 inches. Now, a member of the Cybertruck Owners Club has leaked photos of it with a tape measure. In this video, we can see it's 72 inches wide at the back bumper. Then it looks to be around 78 inches at the widest part of the rear. This fan was in a rush though, so they weren't able to take any clearer photos. If we assume this measurement is accurate, that actually makes it skinnier than competitors like the Ford F-150 Lightning and Rivian R1T, which are 79 and 79.9 inches in width respectively. Speaking of Rivian, another Cybertruck was spotted next to an R1T at a supercharger, giving us a good size comparison. While the Cybertruck looks a little wider in these photos, I think that might be an optical illusion. The Cybertruck has a horizontal light bar as its main headlights, and that accentuates its width, while the R1T only has its vertical headlights illuminated, making it appear thinner. To me, they look to be around the exact same dimensions. From the rear, the Rivian again looks smaller, but that's likely because of the Cybertruck's sloped roof. This was also taken with a wide-angle lens, distorting the image a bit. In these photos originally posted on a Rivian Facebook group, it looks like the Rivian might be taller, but it's a close call. Next, this Cybertruck was spotted street parked with its recovery hook attachment points uncovered. Last month, the hooks were spotted installed, but here we can see what it looks like before you put the hooks in. Then it was spotted again at the Hollister Hills Trails in California with a Model Y. I don't see any cameras filming it, so they must still be testing some things. A Cybertruck with the same RC printed on the side was seen being towed just outside Hollister, so they may still be testing this truck's limits. Another one was spotted in California with the newly designed Sentry mode on, and we can see an owl on the screen resembling the one that's shown to you when you place your order for a Cybertruck. Its cyber design is a little menacing, so hopefully that will help deter anyone looking to mess with this fierce truck. Next up today, Tesla is starting to predict supercharger availability when you arrive at a charger. They're able to report that by tracking how many vehicles are en route to the charging station. Right now, drivers are able to check how many stalls are available through the vehicle's navigation system, but if a bunch of people are on their way to it, that number could be way different by the time you get there. So it's helpful if you're close to a station, but could become less helpful the further away you are. Being able to decide which station to go to based on how busy it is can make a huge difference in how long it takes you to charge up. Now, navigation data shared with Tesla will allow them to see how many cars are headed to a charger. According to Not a Tesla app, quote, Tesla will now predict how many supercharger stalls will be available at your arrival and display the predicted wait time, if any. Tesla says they will factor in your travel time to the supercharger, as well as other Tesla vehicles' travel times, to predict the charger's availability when you arrive. That would be a 100% accurate prediction if everyone heading to the charger is using navigation to get there. Even if that's not the case, this is still going to be a much more accurate prediction than before. Tesla already somewhat has an incentive for drivers to use their navigation system to make the system more accurate. Even if you know where the supercharger is that you're headed to, if you navigate to it anyway, your vehicle will start preparing the battery for supercharging. If you wait until you get there to ready the battery, that'll take more time because it will charge slower. It's very satisfying to see Tesla make their systems even more efficient, and this is definitely going to save some people a lot of time. It's one more benefit of Tesla making their vehicles more interconnected than any other line of cars. The more communication there is, the more improvements like this they're able to make, and the more efficient they can make everyone's charging experience. This improvement will be even more appreciated now that Tesla is about to open their superchargers to just about all EVs. These stations are about to become a lot busier, in theory, so hopefully this line of communication will hold up across other EV softwares. Not all EVs operate with Tesla's navigation software, so it's going to take some figuring out for Tesla to be able to truly report how many EVs are heading to their chargers. I'm curious to see how soon other EVs will be able to report this data to Tesla. That would set a new precedent that not every automaker may be comfortable with. In the meantime, superchargers that are open to all EVs may have less accurate wait time predictions. This isn't the only software update Tesla has been working on, though. They've also rolled out a new drowsiness warning for drivers that it senses are getting sleepy through the interior cabin camera. This camera first came on the Model 3 and became standardized on all of their cars with the refreshed Model S and X in 2021. It's been used to make sure the driver's eyes are on the road while FSD is engaged. The factor the vehicle mostly utilizes, though, is torque on the steering wheel. Occasionally, you would have to apply pressure to it to let the car know that you're still paying attention. Now it's been leaked by Tesla hacker Green that the cabin camera can count yawn and blinks to measure how drowsy the driver may be. A description of this feature can be found in the European Owner's Manual. Quote, "The driver drowsiness warning is designed to notify drivers who appear to be drowsy by monitoring driver facial characteristics as well as driving behavior to determine patterns indicative of drowsiness. When driver drowsiness is detected, an alert is displayed on the touchscreen in the car's area and an alert is sounded." It's not in the North American manual, so that could mean it's only being pushed in Europe. If you've seen this in action, let me know in the comments below. It only activates when driving over 40 miles per hour for over 10 minutes with autopilot disengaged. So this is only to warn drivers when they are fully in control of the vehicle. You can also disable it by going to Controls, Safety, Driver Drowsiness Warning, and then turning it off for the current drive cycle. It automatically re-enables at the start of every drive cycle, so it sounds like it's standard, or you can turn it off for each drive. Other car makers have had similar features for a long time, so it's good to see it in a Tesla. Next up today, Tesla has now sold WFAN, a German-based wireless charging startup known for inductive charging tech for EVs and industrial robots. They only acquired WFAN in August, and now they've turned around and sold it 2 months later. We didn't hear how much they bought the company for, but it made sense that they would be diving into wireless charging. Tesla has been working on this technology in some capacity for a long time. In 2015, they posted a video of their first solution, an automated robot arm that would plug in the car for you. That was before wireless charging was a viable option. Then in March of this year, they teased a rendered photo of a Model S seemingly charging wirelessly on a mat in a garage. They didn't talk about it at all, but the fact that this was in the presentation means they're still thinking about it. So when they acquired WFAN, that led us to believe they would use this company to progress whatever plans they have there. Now they've sold the company to Pulse, who is known for manufacturing DIN rail power supplies. That's a technology that charges trains through the rails they run on. Pulse announced on their website that, quote, "Wireless charging specialist WFAN becomes our new business unit, Pulse Wireless. WFAN's customers will benefit from our engineering resources and global presence in production and appliance support." According to the Robot Report, though, Tesla has kept WFAN's engineering team on board and sold its operations and manufacturing business to Pulse. So it looks like the only reason they bought WFAN was to build out an engineering team for their own projects. Then Pulse will continue manufacturing, marketing, and selling WFAN products specifically. It's possible Tesla initially had other plans for this company, but ended up not liking their operations. But this was a pretty quick turnaround. Either way, we likely have a lot to come with Tesla's in-house wireless charging products. Hopefully, we'll get more information on those soon. Last up today, some updates from Volvo. Images of the Volvo Em90 have leaked, revealing some details on their first electric minivan. This van will officially debut next month, but we already know it's based on the Zeekr 009 MPV and shares a lot of its characteristics. Riding on the same SEE platform, it's sized to compete with the Mercedes EQV. It'll have a single rear electric motor with 272 horsepower, and they might offer a four-wheel drive variant later. Buyers can choose between a 116 kilowatt-hour battery pack with 436 miles of range and a 140 kilowatt-hour battery pack with up to 510 miles range, CLTC. Overall, the design language is inspired by, quote, "a Scandinavian living room on the move," and the interior should come with a ton of luxury features. Pre-orders for this one are expected to open around November 12th when this van makes its debut. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see behind the scenes of Tesla's secret revolution beyond cars, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.